Good morning, everyone. It's Kenya, and I wanted to discuss with you my Mayo Clinic trip. So, if you watch Buck and Brooklyn's page, in the beginning of August, I said they were going on vacation. We went to Rochester, me for medical appointments, them just to have some time in Rochester, which they had a fantastic time. My medical appointments is for my heart transplant and all my other comorbidities. Before I went, I was checking on my appointments, and they only had me seeing my cardiologist, which, when you have as many comorbidities as I do, you have to see a lot of doctors. And I've always seen doctors for every part of my body, from my hair follicles down to my toenails. That's what I always tell people. But anyways, when I got there, I only had my heart appointments, which angered me because Rochester is about 650 miles away one way, and I can't go all the time, so I've got to make time out of my schedule to take the week off, go to Rochester, see my doctors and everything. So I went to my appointments. I did blood work, all that kind of stuff, x-ray, all that was fine. And then I did the stress test where you have to walk on a treadmill. And last November, I had radiation. And then it was towards the end of November. Then in December, I immediately got sick, which I never get cold sores, but this time I got a really bad cold sore and then got so sick. And I was sick for December, January, and February. Parts of February. I started to feel a little bit better in February, but I was passing out. I just did not feel good at all. I went to the emergency room a couple of times. I went to urgent care a couple of times. The Mayo Clinic finally answered one of my messages and told me to go to the emergency room and stuff. So I did. So my body has not fully rebounded back from that sickness, and I had told my coordinator that that I'm not fully rebounded back. So the exercise test may be different than the last few years. I went in, and there's Buck. I went in, and they asked me if I was feeling lightheaded, and I said no, I'm fine now. I just wanted to let you guys know. And so they hooked me up to all the machines, the breathing machine, the blood pressure cuff, and everything, and started me on the treadmill. They have you walking on the treadmill at 3 miles an hour, and then the first minute they have you walking on the flat ground, and then the second minute they take you up 7%, and then the third or fourth minute they take you up to 14%. At 14%, I was like dying. My legs were hurting. I was breathing really hard and stuff. And so I told them, gave them the thumbs down, because that's always the signal that that I'm done. And when I talked to my cardiologist, he said that normally, in normal years, I do 54% of what the average is and stuff. This year it was 50%, so I had to work for that 50%, and it wasn't my normal average, but it wasn't that bad, so I was glad about that. I went to my angiogram, and everything looked fine. The thing is it was weird because my doctor who did the angiogram was so fast that the medicine didn't take effect until halfway through. So I watched half of the biopsy on the angiogram on the TVs, and then they gave me the Versed. And I remember looking at the TV and watching my heart and all my veins with all the contrast and stuff go through. But Versed takes away your memory when it hits and stuff. So I only remember waking up in the recovery room, and they'd gone through my leg, the artery in my leg, so they had to hold pressure on it for 10 minutes, and they really put a lot of pressure on it, and I was just like, oh my God, and stuff. But that's normal. They do that every year. Um, then I went to my cardiologist, and I saw Dr. Rosenbaum, and he's a very nice guy. I found out that my core doctors, when I was transplanted, there were four of them. Three of them have retired or gone on to a um, different type of doctoring, and there's only one left, and that is my favorite doctor, Dr. Franz. He's still there. They said he'll be there until the day he dies, which I'm so glad because he really is my favorite doctor. And there's Buck. So, anyways, so I saw Dr. Rosenbaum, and I told him that I was very angry because I only saw my cardiologist, and I travel so far away from Rochester that I expect to see all my doctors and stuff. And he said that it looked like one of the schedulers didn't do their job. And so I got to go back in October 1st through the 4th, which is fine because I'm having some swallowing issues, and that's what my appointment will be about. But they had to fit in other appointments that I should have had done in August. I told him that I know people move jobs and stuff, but in the last couple of years I've had 3 coordinators, and this new coordinator, she just started in March or May or something like that, and I didn't find out about it until June, that she was my coordinator. And I told him, I said, I'm 30 years out, I got a big mouth and stuff, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think, and it's to help the newer transplants who don't have the confidence to talk, to tell you guys what's going on. So I said to him, I said, can't the coordinator just send a message out to the people that they are taking care of and saying, hey, I'm your new coordinator. If you need anything, reach out to me. Because it was a secretary that told me that I had a new coordinator. That was not okay with me. And that's happened more times than what I like. So, yeah. And then I had met her the Friday before, and she's a nice person and everything, but I felt like, so in my 30 years, I've only had 2 coordinators that were really good. My very first coordinator, Kathy, and then my coordinator, Paul. And all the other coordinators were awful. They didn't do anything. I had to coordinate everything myself. And I told Dr. Rosenbaum, I said, I shouldn't have to be my own coordinator. I know that I have to be my own advocate, but I shouldn't have to coordinate my own appointments. And he said, no, you shouldn't. You should be the patient. So hopefully he will talk to the schedulers and the coordinator and kind of get that worked out and stuff. But as far as my heart goes, it's fine. The one thing that I was worried about was I have a valve that leaks backwards, and it affects my kidneys and my liver. My legs get swollen, and I have to take Lasix and raise my legs up and everything like that. And they said that that's because of my backflow of my valve. And they told me that like 4 years ago. And when they told me that, I said, I've always been a guinea pig for you guys. So this valve, all the other valves have been approved by the CDC to go through the main artery in the leg and fix it that way. This was the only valve left to where they needed to do a trial to get the okay from the CDC. I told them for the last 4 years, I've been your guinea pig for everything. I will be first in line. Put me first in line to get this finished. I've been obsessing about it for the last 4 years. I've told everybody for the last 4 years, you know, I want to get this fixed. I'm very proactive. Um, you know, let's get it fixed. And so that was the one thing on my mind. And Dr. Rosenbaum said that it was approved without a trial back in February. And I said, all right, get me on the list. I want to be first on the list to get it fixed because I want to be proactive. I want to die with this heart and all that kind of stuff. And he said, on the scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 4. They don't start looking at that type of procedure until you're a 5. And I said, all right. I said, when will I be a 5? And he said, people can live, there's Brooklyn and Buck. uh, he said, people can live being a 4 for decades. And I've been a 4 for at least 1 decade. So he said, the risks um, are bigger than what the outcome would be. So that just kind of said, all right, I will just wait until I'm a 5 and then I'll start pushing again. Hopefully, I can just live being a 4. So that was all my appointments. The reason why I'm going back in October is because I had gastric bypass in 2002 and food has been sticking. And my family has a history of food sticking. The women have a history of food sticking. And I always thought it was a radiation. But then on the family text, my sister was saying that she had the procedure to dilate it. I knew my great aunt had the procedure to dilate it. My nieces got on and said, I have food sticking. My mother, I knew she had food sticking. So it's a family trait. Plus, I had the radiation, which is not good for the esophagus. Plus, I had gastric bypass surgery, where they had to connect the esophagus to the smaller stomach. And so I went to see Dr. Kuntz in Rapid City, and he said, we can have you see the ENT here, but I would prefer you to see your stomach surgeon at Mayo. That was back in late April, early May, and so I said I would prefer that also. So I got on the text, the instant messaging thing at Mayo, and I said, I need this appointment with this doctor to tell me, because it feels like it's sticking right where the connection is between my esophagus and my stomach. And nothing goes down. I drink water and it comes right back up and stuff. So I told them that in May. Nothing was done for a month. And so I got back on in late June, and I said, is this going to happen? And the coordinator contacted me, and she said, I referred you to the stomach doctor and stuff. Then a couple weeks later, the scheduler actually contacted me, and she said, we can't get you in when you're here in August. And I'm like, you could have got me in when I first told you guys about it. And she said, I only saw the order this week. And so that kind of made me angry. I said, fine. I said, I know you guys have to schedule a couple months out. I said, if you can schedule me sometime in October. I was thinking the end of October, but they got me scheduled for the upper gastric, where they put the scope in, on the 2nd, and then the lower one on the 3rd. And they're just going in to see where the if it's scar tissue and stuff. And then she said, I got you scheduled for both of those appointments, but I haven't scheduled you with surgery yet. And I'm like, why would you schedule me for surgery? I'm not having surgery yet. If I need to have surgery, I need to come back home. I need to get my work computer so I can work from Rochester. I need to okay it. Just a minute. Buck was taking his bed outside, and he knows better than that. So, anyways, so I said to him, I'm not having surgery until I know what all those test results are and I need to come back and, you know, get my work computer and get it okayed through the VA and all that kind of stuff, and work from Rochester and stuff. And she's like, no, 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 no. It's not surgery that you're scheduled with. It's a consult to tell you what the test results are. I'm like, okay, I will do that, but I'm not having surgery. And so then a couple weeks later, this guy from Mayo contacts me and he says, I'm a scheduler and I'm trying to get you scheduled with surgery. I already knew in my mind that it was just a consult. And he said, the surgery schedule is kind of iffy. So if I would hold, they would get me with this surgery scheduler. And so I did. And this lady who works in surgery gets on the phone and she says, the doctor isn't available that October 1st through, well, we'll be driving on the 1st, but 2nd through the 4th, he is available on the 18th. And I said, that's not going to work. I'm going to be there the week of the 1st through the 4th. I said, I live 650 miles away. That's the time I'm taking off. And she's like, well, he's not here to do the resection of your stomach bypass. And I'm like, what? And she said, we have you scheduled for surgery. I said, no, 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 no. I have told 2 other people I am not having surgery yet. I said, if it needs to be surgery, I will schedule it then. I said, I was told I was just finding out what the test results are. She's like, that's not what I was told. And we have you scheduled for a resection of your bypass. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. I'm not doing that. And nope. And she said, well, we can schedule you with the surgery physician's assistant so you can have the consult. And I said, that's fine, but I am not having surgery yet. If I need surgery, I will get that scheduled. But I don't even know if I need surgery because everybody in my family had their esophagus dilated. So my mother is going back with me. Buck and Brooklyn will not be going back that week because it's a really long car ride and I've got just a car and Buck takes up the entire back seat and his legs get really crampy and stuff. And Jeremy won't be going, thank goodness. He's not the nicest person when he's in Rochester. So yeah, so that was my Mayo Clinic appointment. So it's been a ride. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on, and I know it's been like a month already since we've been back, but I just haven't had time to make this video. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.